So, Delphine, what are we talking about today? What's on the menu?
We're talking about it. What's on everyone's mind?
What are we talking about?
It.
Yeah, but what are we talking about?
It.
But, yes, but what are we talking about?
It. Do you think there should be a film about the knight who say ni and the fear of it as actual it and not the word it? Or do you think Stephen King was inspired by the Monty Python when he came up with it as the name for this monster?
I don't know. You have to ask every single person involved.
I'm really amused by this thought.
Right, 2017's it, okay? Clarifying it for you nerds out there. So who directed this one, Delphine?
Andy Muschietti directed part 1 and part 2.
And he directed the
Mama.
short film Mama and then the film
Mama.
Mama. Which explains why Jessica Chastain probably got picked to be at part 2.
Yep.
I got showed it when I was 4 or 5.
No, insane.
And then I was scared of it. And then my mother gave me pearls of wisdom when it came to turning the light off at night time, was that it won't see you in the dark.
Amazing. I love that so much. Because it wouldn't know how to turn the light on.
Yeah, the shape-shifting space alien clown thing wouldn't know how to turn the light on. So they would. I imagine it like a sketch.
Yeah.
And so I imagine it as a sketch where it would. So my ma would come in and say her pearls of wisdom. Just like, he doesn't know how to turn it. He's not going to find you in the dark. You know what I mean? He's not going to see you in there, and he doesn't know how to turn the light on. And then, so it's just like instantly she shuts the door. She's turned the light off and shut the door, and just like that at the bed. And this big, like 6'5" clown comes in. He's like I imagine it being really tall for some reason. He just comes in, and he can't find the light switch, so he just walks back out again.
That's him.
Because he's dumb as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I was about to say the story of it. Here, let's eventually get there. The story is a shape-shifting alien is hiding underneath the city of Derry, and it lives off the fear of children. And he lives off the fear of children, but he also eats children. But I think that's him buttering them up.
I know.
He's just like buttering those little boys and girls up.
True. But before we talk about like the actual logic of how and why, he only comes out every 27 years, something weird like that. It's like that.
Something like that. He comes out every.
He's not there all the time.
Yeah.
But
when he does come there, he fucks shit up. But people don't know us because he's got space powers that make townsfolk know see things.
So the adults are kind of weirdly immune, like they don't know what's going on, and he's just targeting kids.
Yeah. And Stephen King was inspired by like things like that actually happening in the 80s, but no, the adults no noticing. But there was a lot of child murders in the 80s, which inspired the book.
Okay.
Which is interesting to think. Anyway, it kills little Georgie in the first 10 minutes. It's quite an iconic scene actually, and that was his mistake. that was its biggest mistake. That's the biggest mistake he'll make in his million-year life, was killing Georgie. Because if he never did that, then they wouldn't have made the Losers Club, and they wouldn't have killed him. So he isn't very smart. He doesn't know how to turn a light switch on unless you're scared of a light switch. So Georgie gets killed, and his brother gets a group of kids together, and what follows is a back and forth between them and it for the whole film. Until spoilers, they don't kill him, but they send him into hibernation. Mm-hmm. So what bits of the film did you like?
So the first I remember thinking that all of the elements with the kids themselves were great. There's a real feel of like coming of age to it, the film, and not the character. And it was extremely charming, and it was really delicate in the way that they were forming their friendship and forming the Losers Club. And when it came to the horror, I disliked it really strongly.
It's just too much CGI.
Yeah.
Every monster was basically CGI.
Yeah.
The tramp, sickness, leper guy was CGI. The Jewish painting monster was CGI. What else?
The people that were burnt.
People were burnt were CGI.
It's CGI. It's really heavy CGI, and it's also, they all seem to just be this repetitive, obnoxious kind of jump scare element, and they all look like zombies, if that makes sense. Like, there was even though they were also, it's supposed to mimic your fear, so it's all supposed to be really individual, and they all ended up looking like zombies.
And then the other argument is there's too much of the clown as well. Only one of them is scared of a clown. They go to, in the book, they go to a cinema, and they see all the monsters that it's supposed to turn out is classic monsters, like mummies, zombies, the creature for the swamp, the Blue Lagoon.
Yeah.
Stuff like, it's all supposed to be stuff like that. But, you know what I mean, when Hollywood's making a film, they just want to concentrate on the clown thing because it's kind of iconic.
Yep.
But it's a bit too much.
We saw him too much in the trailer, and I thought that was it. I was like, oh, I already saw him? That's weird. You know? When you're already showing something, they should have kind of show you like a glimpse of him, and you're just like, oh my god. But no, they show his like full face already right in the trailer.
First 10 minutes when Georgie loses the boat, you basically see it.
Yeah.
Doesn't he subtlety? Everything's running at you.
Well, yeah, it was also this thing where, I don't know if it was in fashion in 2017, but it was like this vibrating, running to camera going blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
They do it 4 times in this film. It's overwhelmingly annoying.
Georgie, Bill thinks he sees Georgie in his basement, right? And he goes down there, and it's using him as a puppet, which was interesting. And then it just runs towards Bill, and it's just like, okay.
Yeah, because he's supposed to cultivate their fears, and I don't think he is. It's just weird jump scares.
In Andy Machetti's short, Mama, that's what Mama does as well. But so he likes that. That's scary to him. But why is it going to be so CGI'd?
Yes.
Why not just have it? Just a person come. If you love that so much, then just have it. Paul Skarsgård just comes running towards him. Why is it going to be in the camera steady cam? Why? What? It's not scary. God, I can't believe it. It's been a whole year since my twin brother disappeared down the sewers. I miss him every day. What was that noise? That noise sounded like it was coming from the kitchen.
I was annoyed and bored by the horror, but really enchanted by all the kids.
Yeah, I thought the kids put a good performance in. I thought they were all cast. Kids can be shit in films.
Yeah.
So, but these kids were all great.
And I love Eddie. I think he's got like amazing comedy timing. It's my favourite one.
What did it turn into to scare Beverly?
Blood. So like the period, and it's all about the father relationship.
What did you think of that blood in the bathroom?
I like it. I thought that was fun.
Then they all had to clean her period blood together.
And I like that the dad comes in and it's not instantly cut back to being clean. They have this whole scene where it's just like, what are you doing? Why are you shouting? And she's like, can't you see it? And there's like dripping blood everywhere.
The dad reminds me of a Tim and Eric sketch where Will Forte's dad doesn't know why belts have holes in them. and he wants him to keep shit in the toilet so he can count those logs.
Oh my god.
What do you mean you're having a period, Beverly? What do you mean?
The thing about the first one as well is like all the parents are there, and you can kind of, so they're oblivious to what's happening in terms of it being there. They can't see him, and there's even a scene where you can see someone kind of looking away. So they're aware, but then they kind of choose to not see, so they don't see it. But what I liked is also when they kind of start going into being kind of it themselves.
Yeah.
Like always them being horrible towards their kids, and that's the real terror to me. I thought that was a lot more interesting than most of the CGI horror they were throwing at
the parents
us.
just ignoring them.
Yeah, when the
and
parents
they won't even
horrible.
let them grieve Bill.
Yeah.
They won't let Bill grieve for his burn, and they built. Bill built the entire sewer system.
Yeah.
The shit that he found.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just like, and he had the little toy Georgie. It's like, if you put that in there, then Georgie comes out here. And his dad's like that. No! Stop trying to find it! That leads me on to the point. A problem that that I noticed in Harry Potter as well. What's her name in Harry Potter, the teacher that makes them write the lines out and they get burnt in their hand? Umbridge. Yeah, right. I have ladies and gentlemen, Umbridge is more evil than Voldemort. She's more, and it makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense.
Powerfully evil, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense why she's that evil. Because there's no backstory for her. Yeah. You know what I mean? She's just really, really evil. So, which brings me to Henry Bowers, who even in the TV movie and the book is just crazy evil. It's just he's more evil. And even it is like, whoa. You know what I mean? Like. Its fear is Henry Bowers. That's why he has to tag team with him. Yeah. That's why they got a wee stable going. He's just like that. Fuck man. I think Henry Bowers could have killed it himself.
He's insanely evil, and you never see it being an influence on him. And I think that's kind of lacking because it's off how evil he is.
One of my favourite bits in the film is when I think it's Henry Bowers' dad is watching the TV, or somebody's watching TV, and it's just there. Kill them, kill them. It's like, why can't they have more fun like that?
So yeah, this scene is definitely one of the best. It is doing everything that we've been lacking so far, which is like kind of almost old-fashioned horror and more psychological and more fun. Because that's actually it having an influence in everyday life, and he's there in the corner. He's on TV, and he's just pushing people into killing. To be fair,
he is sprinkled around the film. There's a bit where they're standing next to a mural, and it's on the mural, and he's just like that, smiling. Yeah. And then there's the librarian woman seems to have turned into it somehow. Like she was. There's another scene with too much CGI in it. There's a headless child for the book, and like there's another place it's in the book like that.
Yeah. But see, those bits I'm fine with because I like him being sprinkled all over. But the actual horror bit when they're facing their fear, I found to be soulless, and they do nothing to me.
There's the bit where the little girl Beverly gets kidnapped by it, and it didn't make any sense. She clowned her dad with the toilet cistern as well. The tap part of the toilet. Yeah. Remember, she clowns her dad with it and smacks him in the head with it, and then she just turns around and it's there. It's just like, what? And I saw an interview and Kerry Fukunaga didn't say that was in his script. It's like, well, what purpose does it serve?
It didn't seem to make sense because he didn't need to lure the kids to him in any sort of way.
They're going to come for it. It has as I said. So if I didn't mess with Georgie, you would have been fine. That's what started this whole thing. Just living underneath planet Earth for millions of years, and then you get killed by James McAvoy.
Which is a segue to part 2.
2019 it. The kids have to come back and stop it because he didn't die. He went into that coma that Delphine mentioned earlier in the video. They thought they killed him, but they didn't. So, and it turns out he has a second layer down the hole he went down, and there's a weird. The deadlights are shooting into it. It's hard to describe when it comes to like cosmic horror, which it is. It is cosmic horror, and they go more into that in this one with Mike, who has more a role than he did in the second one. So they find the hole, they go down and they kill it, and a few of the Losers Club die on the adventure. That's basically it. I hated it. I hated every single moment of it. It's bloated. It's a bloated mess.
So
I think Kerry, know how you were saying
Fukunaga,
at one,
yeah.
Kerry Fukunaga wrote the screenplay. I think he wrote all that stuff for the kids, and what he wrote for the horror was probably really subtle. And I think Hollywood producers went, "That's not going to play with the snow audience. They don't want that. They want the they want the jump scares and all that shit, and we don't." It's really bad, and they've totally doubled down in this one because there's even Marriott, and it's just shit.
I didn't like it, but I wouldn't say I liked the first one either. But I saw that it had qualities. This one is a lot more of a shitbag. I think the main problem with it is that it's messy. The storyline is always zigzagging in between stuff. So
I hated that.
Yeah, so all the adults come back to Derry. Because like Mike figured out that it's still there, and because they've been affected by it as kids and survived, they remember it, whereas everyone else forgot about who he was. Again, because that's his thing. And they come back, they have a lovely meal together. Mike breaks it down to them that it's there, and it comes back to them, and the scared shitless.
And they're all weirdly successful, and I was wondering if
it's true. I forgot about that. You're right.
It had made that happen.
That's insane.
So that they wouldn't come back.
Yeah, maybe because they're fucking rich. You see all their houses. Oh my
why
God.
didn't it kill Mike before he could?
Again,
he's a lazy,
weird,
silly alien.
So the weird thing about like how the story works in this film is that they all have to find a totem, because Mike looked into the lore of it and how they could really finish him off and kill him off, and they all each have to find something that's close to them to use in the ceremony.
A token that's kind of in the book, and in the book they melt that. There's a bike in this one as well. They melt that down and shoot it. They either finds the power,
and so. Because of that, the way the film works is that each of them has to go into their own little adventure. So you start off the film, you had maybe the first 10 minutes, and now you know that you're going to get one Ben adventure, and
it feels like a TV show.
Yeah, Beverly adventure, one Richie adventure, and it feels... So you're bored. You're just like, oh God, no. And they keep on cutting back to the kids in a way that I don't think they should have, because it makes it really odd. I think it should have cut to the kids if the first one had the adults in it, and I think for this one they should have gone full adults, because it's really frustrating, because they're reminding you of stuff that you've actually not seen, so it feels like the first one was there for nothing almost. Cause
in the book it does this flashing back and forth,
but I think
in a book that can totally work.
It works, but also if we had a first film that was going back and forth as well, that would have worked. But because we knew the kids, going back to showing memories we've not seen and using that as a major plot point, thank you. And this one feels clunky, so messy, and boring, because the adult actors don't do it for me.
But in this one, yeah, Jessica Chastain's totally wasted.
I put in my notes, R.I.P. Jessica Chastain.
Totally chocolate wasted.
Yeah, I absolutely love her. I think she's great. In this one, she's not given anything. Sometimes it feels like all the cast couldn't be there together. They keep on meeting back at this hotel and running up, and then someone disappears for 2 scenes, and then they run back down like, oh, it's just in a toilet. It's just bizarre.
They go to an empty hotel that isn't run by anybody.
Exactly. Also, all the parents are dead. They don't mention their parents. Yeah. There's no connection to the city. They just go to Derry, and Derry is
Your favourite character doesn't even go see his ma?
No.
One of them kills himself instead of coming to get it, and it gets explained at the end that his fear would have just stopped.
Made it
it a little bit stronger. What was his name? He was the Jewish kid.
Stanley.
Yeah, Stanley. He doesn't come back.
No.
And he's kind of layered all over this film, and he's always mentioned, and and all that, but even though he wasn't that big a character in the other one.
Yeah, but the whole thing is like they had a strong bond, so you don't want anyone to not come back.
It's just so weird that all these kids scenes were all happening, but we didn't see them in the other film.
That's why
they've put the deleted scenes.
It's insanely dumb, because then you feel, well, all the connection and the thing we've seen in the first one, well, dull and like not needed if you're just gonna say, oh, we're gonna add scenes for you to understand the connections. No, just refer back to what you've already shown us. Like the whole scene and for Beverly when they go and fight it at the end is a callback to something they brought in this film and not in the first one. What? Why?
How did this film open again?
The open.
Oh yeah, kills one of those gay people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is.
And I think they went with that because they wanted to have a big opening, like Georgie getting his arm ripped off.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's it. That's the end of that. There's no. I don't think there's any malice behind it. It was in the book.
Yeah.
And they wanted a big opening.
They wanted to show, oh, it's back.
Yeah.
But I think what you're mentioning, like people didn't like the fact that they were attacked and there's like no follow up to that. Is where's the boyfriend? Yeah. Shouldn't he have died as well? Or shouldn't
he was beat up as well.
Yeah, but did he disappear? What happened to him? Again, because they're in a fucking ghost town and it's not supposed to be a ghost town, so it's
those
weird.
Three guys who beat up those gay guys are really weirdly Henry Bowers evil.
Again, yes.
Why weren't they saying where did they go? They should have been like the new Henry Bowers, or it should have cut run, right? So you don't see one of the bully's face, and he comes out and it's Henry Bowers as an adult, and he didn't die because we forgot to mention Mike killed Henry Bowers in the other film. He shoots him with a cattle gun or something. Or no, he tries to shoot him with a cattle gun, but he knocks him down a well.
But isn't he in the mental hospital?
That's what I said in the other film. Yeah.
But in this one he is, isn't it?
Right? But what I'm trying to explain is that Mike killed him in the other film, but it let him live.
Right. Okay.
Or he didn't. I don't know. It's weird.
Okay.
He fell all the way down a well. So
But
it can bring people back to life or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Is Henry Bowers even real?
He's in. So you very rightfully mentioned how mad he was in the first one. In this one, he's insane. And
he stabs it, but I hated that the comedy in this film is so weird. He stabs Eddie.
Yep.
Is it through?
Yes.
He stabs Eddie through the cheek, but they make a joke about it.
Yes. I actually forgot about that. So not only do we have Wilder, he's just laughing away. He's just, again, we don't ever see it kind of being the force behind him, which could have been interesting. He's just insane.
He did let him.
He shows
let
up.
him live, and then he helped him escape from the mental hospital.
But that's true. We see that a little bit, but then later on, he's just there doing stupid things.
Because everything it knows. Henry Bowers is the real,
yeah.
the real monster of Derry.
I did like how he gets him out of the mental hospital actually, because he's just like the person beneath the bed and all that. Like that scene, I thought was quite cool. But after that, he's just insane, laughing away and cutting people up. You're just like, what's going on? What's going on? And as you said as well, I forgot comedy. It was a comedy.
So much comedy. Then there's a bit where
Eddie again.
Eddie again gets vomited on.
And they cut to an 80s song going.
3 seconds of music.
Yeah, so bizarre.
Yeah, the editing's weird.
They were trying something. It's not Evil Dead. It was never Evil Dead, and you can't sprinkle it.
It could have been.
It could have been.
They just don't know to make it a comedy or a bad horror film or a drama. They can't pick one, and it's a fucking mess. That's what I'm saying. Can you imagine if Sam Raimi had made both these films?
Completely different.
But it would have been the one at Sam Raimi for the 80s and 90s. It would have been weirdly funny. Well, the camera would have been used
imagine all the practical stuff.
Yeah, it would have just
juicy.
It would have fucking popped. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This guy's never made anything good.
So
the Mama short's good, but Mama itself isn't good.
That's something that I wanted to talk about. Like it's a little leeway into something else, but Mama is one of those films where I'm completely 50-50 on it. Because I think that the horror is bad. Because again, overuse of like jump scare, it doesn't let you sit right with it. I don't like the practicality of it because it's also computerized in a way that I can't connect with it at all. I don't think the Mama character looked any good. But all of the characters in Mama I found to be amazing. The character work. Like the idea of this aunt, not even an aunt because she's just a girlfriend of the uncle.
Yeah, she's not ready for... The whole film's about not being ready for motherhood.
And it's great. I like that so much. But I hate the horror.
Can you imagine...
But I love horror. Sorry, go.
Can you imagine Bruce Campbell was it?
I mean, maybe now. With the belly. I'm sorry,
Bruce. That's who
I love you.
That's who they got to play it.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's a mess of a film. They're in a ghost town. There's no relation to their parents. There's no relation to their history. They're cutting back to things we've never seen before to use in this film. They add weird comedy elements that are completely rash and stupid.
Let's go through, because it's like it was like watching episodes of the TV show. Let's talk about Jessica Chastain's little adventure to the All Woman's House.
Oh, I
it's
actually
like the best bit.
That. So that's not something that I want to talk about. Is weirdly some horror in this was good. Can we agree on that? And the bit with the old woman,
fucking terrible.
Yes, but
when you go.
Yeah, but the bit with the old woman was. I was gonna say 50-50, but it was 75-25 because I kind of liked it. So she is trying to get back to her house. So already feels a bit more real. And that old woman opens the door. It's like, "Oh, your dad's long gone," and she invites her in, and you know instantly she's
like fucking boogieing in the background and all that. And they give that away for free in the trailer.
Yeah, it's Evil Dead done right. This scene, I think this works.
All I needed was a Dutch angle.
She's smiling at her intensively in a way that I loved it. I was actually having fun. This scene worked. It worked.
Our main plot of the film, this isn't a fun side story, is the Mike wants to cast a cheese spell to kill it. Do you know what cheese spell is?
No.
And Jackie Chan adventures to kill the evil spirits and send them back to the night sphere Delphine. Uncle would cast a cheese spell. Mm-hmm. So Mike wants to cast a cheese spell to send it back to the fifth dimension. Mm-hmm. Do you remember the chant for the cheese? Oh wait, you didn't. Yeah, that's right, you didn't. Oh, do funny sound. Do you remember that?
No.
You don't know what happened, right? And the cheese spell doesn't work.
Yeah.
So it just starts smoking them.
Yeah.
Didn't it? And then it fucking turns out the only way to kill it is not to be afraid of him. And you're like, alright, wait a minute, you already fucking knew that? Oh, wait a minute, they've forgot their fucking they've lost their minds. But we're getting ahead of ourselves here. Any other side story that came to your mind? There was one where Richie was gay, wasn't there? Yeah. Bill Hader was just like cracking like one-liners every 2 seconds, and some of it's funny and some of it's just really annoying.
I liked him. I think he had a blast, and it shows he was one of the ones that was actually owning up his character. Like he wasn't, but he overdid it a bit. Yeah. I do think. One thing that we could mention, again, badly edited because of its place within the film, but we have a great horror scene with this little girl who's got.
What happened?
So the little she's got something on her face, is in like a mark or something.
Looks like a birthmark.
Birthmark, yeah. She's at a basketball game or something like that, or baseball game, yeah. Sports with a parent that's not taking care of her because she's not caring.
Under influence, that's the only way to.
So she sees a little light and follows it, like underneath underneath the steps, in the stadium. And it's just there. And again, a great scene. It could have been the first scene that you've ever seen, because he's kind of hidden away. You can't fully see him. And just coming closer, just like, oh, do you wanna come and see what I have? And she's just like, oh no,
Yeah.
I've been told not to talk to
She's
strangers.
like, you're a big fucking grotesque clown.
Yeah.
You know, why the fuck would I talk to you?
No, you look weird. And that's a
It's
genius.
so subtle, and that hasn't ran at her yet or anything.
Exactly.
And he uses because he's a big horrible space alien, smart space alien, supposedly smart. He's like, people say that I don't look good as well.
It was diabolical, funny in the right way, extremely subtle, so good.
And then he starts drooling, and he did that in the other film, and that means he's gonna eat her.
Yeah.
He's kind of savouring her fear.
Yeah.
And he eats her.
Yeah. Oh, but this whole scene.
People don't like.
They always make fun of how I look.
People make fun of how you look,
And
governor.
then she goes, what? Oh, but me too. He's like, really? You do? Oh. We have so much in common.
Then he smokes her.
Yeah. It's a gorgeous scene from start to finish. Could have been a short film. It would have won an Oscar for me. The Oscar to my heart. I think it's brilliant horror. So funny. So great. In a really weird place in the film because we've already established that the adults are there. It's just to see that he's just still away eating kids. And that's kind of It's just oddly placed within the film, but a great scene.
And Ben still, we didn't mention that, but Ben still got the hots for Jessica Chastain.
Yes, he's trying.
Beverly, I mean.
Yeah.
Sorry. What did you?
He's trying to get.
And she thinks, we forgot to mention the postcard as well.
Yeah.
And it's just like
She
thinks
thinks
Bill who wrote it, and it's whatever.
Yeah, it's not.
And Bill's married as well, so.
Oh yeah, I hated that. I think the other scene that I liked in this one, which was there's two horror scenes that I've genuinely enjoyed. The best one we've just mentioned. The other one is in the mirror house, where Bill is taking into himself to help every kid he's seeing. He's like, don't get eaten, because he's got guilt because of
that
Georgie.
kid did get eaten, and Bill screamed in James McAvoy's crap in this as well. So he screamed in this little boy's face, "Don't go in this fucking sewer, okay?
Yeah.
Or it'll get you."
Yeah.
And it gets him.
Yep.
So, and it serves no purpose. Nobody's looking for the kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is clunky, but as itself, the bit in the mirror house looked really cool, and I like that a lot.
Who killed Henry Burroughs in this one? I don't remember now.
I don't remember what happened to him.
Yeah.
I just remember him being
I think
crazy.
Mike stabbed him.
Maybe I remember him going crazy, and then
he goes crazy and kills a few people. None of the main cast, and he stabs somebody through the neck, for the thingy, and then I think Mike or somebody or maybe Bill Hader. They're all gonna. It's all weird. It's all nonsensical. There's no plot. Nobody's doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Hader's just gonna leave, even though there's this clown that'll get him. And Beverly in the other film saw the deadlights, but she knows if they don't stop it, then they'll die in accidents.
Mm-hmm.
It's what?
Oh yeah, yeah.
If they don't stop it, then they will die in the next couple of months. That's what she says. So anyway, they deal with Henry Bowers, or they deal with any other it-related bullshit, and then they go down the second hole to get it. As I was saying earlier, it transforms. They use the cheese belt, and they think they've killed it, and then it comes out in a big red balloon out of the cheese bell vase, because Native Americans had to try to deal with it first, and it's like they failed. That's what he says. We failed. He's like, oh. And then they realise that they have to use the power of love, and love conquers fear. Ben and Beverly get together, even though she's in a toilet, a despair, and Ben's getting buried alive, and he's a hunk and all that. They get together. Eddie and Bill get together. They're hot for each other. They kill it. They kill it, and it becomes a fucking fried egg, and then the film ends.
It's a mess. It's messy.
Yeah, it's messy. It's unenjoyable. It's too long. It's on for 2 hours, 40 minutes. I fucking hated it.
Yeah.
I hated it. I enjoyed 2 bits.
Yeah,
a 3 hour long film.
Yeah.
It's if they're in 10 or 20 years they're gonna make it again, because this is just how it goes. They made the Maltese Falcon it's like 6 or 7 times in 20 years. Do you know that? Yeah, I mean they remade that film loads of times, so they have no problem making it again. But if they're gonna make it again, can you just make it maybe a TV series? It's too big to make, or maybe make it a trilogy. I don't know how that would work. Make it it can't be these It can't be these 2 films that add up to 6 hours. It just can't. It's too much.
Yeah, the first one we didn't like because the horror was disappointing, but there was a really sweetness to it, and we liked that a lot. This one is a mess. It's pretty bad.
They were
and
just
it's
like
got 2 good bits.
They were like everybody seemed to like those kids, so let's just shoehorn them and we deleted scenes. There was a bit where it looked like Eddie or Richie was being ADR'd. It didn't look like they were talking to me.
Oh, right.
I think because they're hitting puberty or their voices are changing. One of the kids is like 18 or something, isn't they? The kid who plays Ben is older than the other ones.
So we saw the first one. Then 2 years later we saw the second one, and we went back to rewatch the first one. After the mess, that was the second one. I was really shocked to rewatch part 1 and see how delicate and beautiful the opening shots were, and there was so much heart and so much details, and like the way the camera was panning, I was like, there's so much love in this project that's already gone by part 2. It was weird. It didn't feel like it was the same person. I don't know.
I don't know if it was producers saying stuff, but just stay away from this. Watch the first film, but just don't watch this. It gets killed. There you go. You don't need to. You don't need. Just use the ending of the first film as the ending. They got rid of it. That's it. Yeah. That's the end of it. Just don't watch this one. It's a waste of 3 years. Just such a fucking waste. So I hated it. Did you hate it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the first one is like, okay, I like the stuff with the kids, but
I hated the horror in the first one so much.
Not good.
Not good.
Right, so Delphine, if it was in Glasgow and he was after you, what would your fear be? What would he turn into?
I think everyone's dead and it's just me.
How does it turn into that? it's like that at the computer. It's like all these fear emails are all coming in. Is that everybody's dead? Oh. Delete. They're just like, what? How the hell am I supposed to do that? Seems like it's Charlie Day or something.
What would be your fear?
Having to watch part 2 for the rest of my life. No, it's fucking boring. No. And with me and him sitting on a couch watching it.
And then he's got popcorn like, no, but there's a good bit coming up.
And it cuts to it. It's just you running towards the fucking camera. Oh, hi there. I'm Darren from Bag of Eggs, and I hope you enjoyed the video. So please leave a nice comment, like and subscribe, and all our jazz. And we'll see you in the next video. Eat that.